back to another episode of the Hub on Hollywood podcast. I'm your co-host, James Rojas.
And I'm Jamie Blanco with a special guest, Nikki.
Yeah, on this week's episode, Deadpool and Wolverine was filled to the brim with surprising cameos, but only one actor said, no thank you. This could have changed the entire vibe of the film. We will get into that, as well as the popcorn bucket wars have begun. They are in full swing, but who is winning? AMC or Cinemark? We will decide. An awesome marketing campaign for the new Alien Romulus movie, but is it going too far? Is it freaking too many people out? We will go over that as well, and our thoughts on a couple of things that we are watching. But first, Jamie.
Yeah.
I there's something that I witnessed today that has me shook, has shaken me. Maybe it's bothering me more than it should be.
You shook it?
But I was driving. Yeah, I was shooketh. I was shooketh to the core. And so basically, let's rewind. I was driving around today. I was driving down 93 South.
Yeah.
And on my way over there, I saw this vehicle, and I love the dedication that people have. They love a movie, right? And they decorate their car to express, their love for said movie.
Sure.
And it's no real shocker anymore when you see a Jeep Wrangler that's decked out and looks just like the Jurassic Park version.
Right. Red
with the classic T-Rex Jurassic Park logo on the side. Every time I see one on the street, I smile, I giggle, I love it. And even more, I would say more rare than that is the green Ford Explorer from Jurassic Park. You don't see those too often, but when you do see those, just as great, just as iconic as the red Jeep.
Yeah.
However, Jamie, I saw something, and I had to do a double take because I saw a Jeep. I saw it was blue.
Yeah.
And instead of a Jurassic Park logo, it had a Jurassic World logo.
Okay.
I don't know why, but this made me irrationally upset, potentially angry.
Oh, no.
And I almost swerved across all lanes of 93, taking out a bus full of nuns after I watched this.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I was able to compose myself. But this shocked me. I didn't know this was a thing. Jurassic World fans, really? and such a big fan that you decorate your car? You make that your personality? What is wrong with this world, Jamie? Am I overreacting?
Just a little bit.
I don't think I'm overreacting.
No, yeah, just a little.
Maybe.
Calm down, James. Calm down.
That was my first Jurassic World encounter in the actual
wild. In the wild, yeah.
It shook me. I don't know how to feel about that.
Did you want to take it down like a T-Rex? Did you feel... I'm just trying to identify, okay, so where did the violation come in? Is it because it was such a horrible movie? Or do you feel like, as a fan, spending that much money on this, on the Jurassic World, is that what's the most offensive? What is the most offensive part, to you?
Yes to all of the above.
Yes to all the above.
One, that there is somebody out there, there are people out there that watched Jurassic World 1, 2, and 3 and thought, man, those movies, I love that movie. I'm going to make it my entire personality when I drive around. People are going to know in a second when they see my vehicle driving down the highway that this dude, or this I don't know if it's a guy or a girl, but dude is synonymous with girls and guys. But this person thinks people are gonna dig this. They're gonna agree with me. They're gonna honk their horn. They're gonna cheer. I don't think so. I wasn't cheering. I was jeering, almost swerving off the road after seeing this.
Right.
Again, I could be crazy.
I'm
I don't
glad.
think I am, though.
Just a little. I think, just the right amount. Just the right amount of crazy. I think that this person is lucky, that the wrath of James did not come crashing down upon them this afternoon.
This close.
But they must be local.
This
close. Oh my god. Watch out, guys. Don't drive next to James, apparently. If somebody has
Especially
the wrong bumper sticker, you're going to get upset. Well, look, I hope that they make money off of it. I hope that they, something. You got to get something back for doing this abomination to their car. Right.
You think somebody is paying them to do this because nobody in
Maybe.
their right mind would actually spend their own money to do this to their own vehicle.
Look at it this way. What if this person is down on their luck? You know, they can't pay their rent. They can't get their bills. They're starving, James. And the only way to put money in your mouth is to deck your car out in Jurassic World, right? And let them put the advertising on your vehicle. Would you do it? If you had to put
So Universal
food,
Studios.
Yeah. If you had to
Universal Studios is so desperate to reboot the Jurassic World franchise, they're reaching out to this one person in Massachusetts to be the spearhead, to lead the charge.
I think so.
Into infamy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, how about this?
If you're driving that, if you're watching this, listening to this, and you are the driver of that Jurassic World car, contact us at Hub on Hollywood.
At HubOnHollywood.
HubOnHollywood@gmail.com.
Don't give James.
I want to learn about you, learn more about your psyche.
Yeah, just don't give James
your
address because he's going to come for you.
Goodness.
If you could wrap your car in something and make your car into like a movie car, what would it be? Real quick.
Ooh, that's a good question. That is a really good question. Let's see. I'm not sure because my favorite movies are like, I don't know, Forrest Gump, but you can't put like Tom Hanks's face on your car.
Yeah, you can.
So like, I guess you could.
Yeah.
Let's see, but like, what would complement a car? Maybe like I would have my SUV just look exactly like a DeLorean, like have the skin of a Back to the Future DeLorean.
Yeah.
With all the gadgets and gizmos attached to it, but it's an SUV.
Okay.
What about yourself?
I already know this, so I have a little Toyota Matrix. It would be all like Star Wars on the side, like it would be all space battle scenes on the side of the car, and then on the hood.
You're missing a great opportunity.
What?
The Matrix. Just go with the movie The Matrix and like have the green digital like the digital rain. Just
no.
That would look sick.
I refuse. I mean, I guess I appreciate the recommendation, but then
I will pay for you to do
You'll
that.
pay for it. Okay, fine. God, let's do it. We'll make money off of it. We'll go to conventions. But the last thing I wanted was really gonna piss you off. I wanted to get like a big like Raylo scene on the hood, right? And then
just a shirtless Kylo Ren spread across the hood and Ray just peering over the top of the.
A la Jeff Goldblum, roof. Like that Jeff Goldblum Jurassic Park pose, but it's Kylo Ren.
People will crash into you on purpose. I think they will intentionally either accidentally get blinded by Adam Driver's bare chest and ram into you.
Can we put a picture up right here?
Intentionally. Oh, goodness.
Would you pay me not to do that?
I would. I'll start with $25 to not do that.
All right. I mean,
I actually like that question. Let's put that out to our listeners and viewers. If you were to decorate your car, wrap it in any kind of style, what would you do? And don't say Jurassic World.
Say it, guys.
I will find you on the road
and explode.
Honk at you.
Okay.
All right.
Jesus.
All right, I got that off my chest. Thank you for letting me rant.
All right, there we go. All right, what are we doing next besides threatening our audience, James? What are we talking about
instead of
next?
going crazy on Massachusetts roads, how about we go crazy over some Massachusetts films and shows?
All right, let's do that.
There we go.
So we've got Heather Graham's Chosen Family that was filmed here, just got acquired by Brainstorm Media. Hopefully that is going to be leading to a theatrical release pretty soon, so that is great. We love to see that with our movies that were filmed here. However, sad news for Confess Fletch, starring John Hamm, which did very well, also filmed here. The film's director saying that a sequel that had been in the works is no longer in the works, that it is dead. The director, Greg Mottola, saying he's actually kind of depressed about it, and so are we, because movies like this bring the jobs here to New England. So
I'll be honest, I had never heard of that John Hamm project.
Yeah, so it's a remake too of a popular film from the 80s or the 90s. So and it actually did pretty well in its release. I have not, but it's a comedy, and I've heard really good things about John Hamm's performance. So kind of sad to hear that that's not coming back. A number of projects are underway, but they're more in the smaller category, waiting for the next big thing. But Beetlejuice, which filmed in Vermont just before the strikes, that is coming to the theaters very soon, and I am mega
And in Massachusetts, you always leave
hyped.
Massachusetts out. Melrose.
Yes, and in Melrose. Sorry, it was filmed in Vermont and in Melrose. But Melrose was after the strike. So they were supposed to film 3 days. 3 days in New England. They were massive, like, historic floods that interfered with day one. End of day 2, there was the actor strike. They had to wait like 8 months before they could film day 3 in Melrose, where they filmed in a treehouse there with Jenna Ortega. So those scenes finally completed. The movie finally completed. Finally being released. And not only are we getting this awesome, not reboot, but sequel to Beetlejuice 35 years later, you're going to want to have, you're going to want to be decked out, right, for the theater. You're going to want to be ready. You're going to want to have your snacks. And you're going to want to have your popcorn bucket. Right, James?
Absolutely. So Beetlejuice, the latest film to come out with its own popcorn bucket. Is this Cinemark? I believe it's Cinemark, right?
Yes.
So yeah, we'll later in the show we'll dive into some of the other A-list and D-list popcorn buckets that both AMC and Cinemark have come out with. Beetlejuice. This one looks pretty good. It has that snake, that striped curly snake/worm, whatever it is.
Yes.
Wrapped around the popcorn bucket. So that's a good one. I think I've seen some pretty boring ones, and again, we will get into that later in the episode. But there's some pretty boring ones. This one looks actually pretty cool.
Stick around for that. Stick around for that, because the popcorn buckets. That's a hot topic now. It's heating up.
Yeah. The popcorn buckets are now its own marketing. I wouldn't call it gimmick. It's a campaign. It's a ploy to create buzz. A lot of buzz in popcorn apparently.
Mm-hmm.
What else is buzzing? And speaking of marketing campaign, this new movie, the next installation of the Alien franchise, Alien Romulus, which is kind of going back to its horror movie vibes and genre and feel. This movie is coming out next week, Friday, I believe, and the campaign has begun. It's in full swing, and this one is actually turning heads in the theater. And Jamie, I sent you this picture. Did you happen to see this? Basically, at AMC theaters, if you walk in, don't be surprised if you see people lying on the floor with their spilled popcorn buckets strewn about, their drink spilled out, and their face covered with an actual super realistic looking face hugger alien on their face, wrapped around their neck, and it's pretty cool. So like,
is it? Is it terrifying? Yeah.
It's terrifying, which is perfect for this movie that's saying that's going back to its roots of horror. The really cool thing about this is that it's not just like this really realistic looking face hugger on real people who are just laying down, but also there's like in the movie, there's like these glands on each side of the face hugger that kind of pulsate when it breathes. These things actually pulsate too, so I think there must be like an actual tube that these people have in their mouth, and they're breathing, blowing in and out, and so this thing looks like it's alive, it's wet, it's wiggly, it's wild. I'm not sure, however, Jamie, if you and your kids walking into the movie theater lobby walked in on this, like how would they react? How would families with young kids react to this? I think it's smart, but maybe horrifying.
It's a little too much. I mean, maybe put that in an area where the people are already going to go see the movie, like in the theater itself that's showing the movie. Because
these are smack dab in the lobby.
This one would shriek at the top of his lungs and go running out of the theater, and the girl would start crying, And, and someone would probably call 911. You've got, like, little old ladies that are going there to watch, like, what was that movie that came out recently
Twisters.
with all the... No, like, the
Watch
one...
Glenn Powell get hot and sweaty, and they don't want a face hugger sitting down on the ground, right?
God, but what is that? Like, is that something you can buy, or is that just promotional?
Imagine it's a popcorn bucket.
Oh,
That'd be
Lord.
insane. No, I don't think you can buy it. I think, I think it's just for the marketing campaign. It's maybe afterwards they'll sell them on eBay or something, make the studio some more money. But I think it's a very creative and creepy marketing campaign. The one that this reminds me of is years ago. I forget if it was I think it was for The Grudge. Mm-hmm. And my family and I, we were actually in Mexico at the time when that movie came out. And inside the mall, right before you enter the movie theater, there's like this kind of like, they put like yellow tape and stuff.
Yeah.
And it showed like what happened. It was a mannequin, but like it's so realistic. But it had like the face that was morphed and warped that looked like how, the characters died afterwards. And so that was just like laying out in this mall with like police tape around it. And yeah, like they're like this, they go hard in Mexico. Like this is right up in the mall, not even the movie theater. Like kids are walking by, like taking pictures, like screaming. So this reminds me of that kind of scary, going with that shock effect.
Oh, Lord.
That shock tactic.
Well, I'm glad they're not. I'm glad they're not buckets, because we've had this talk before. I'm covering Nikki's ears right now about the buckets that people would, consummate with, right? I think that we don't need a face hugger alien thing. I just don't feel like people would be appropriate with those buckets as part of the issue with the buckets. But okay, I guess so. But I feel like maybe this promotion's a little too much.
I heard that entirely.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, either way, I think the marketing campaign is smart, even if it may it freaks some people out. I'm really excited for this movie. Basically, the plot. While scavenging the deep ends of a derelict ship station, a group of young space colonizers come face to face with the most terrifying life form in the universe. Really, really excited for this. The trailer looks amazing. So hopefully we can watch it soon, give you a review, and all that jazz.
Yeah, James will watch it. James will watch it.
I will watch it. But speaking of reviews, one of the movies that we recently reviewed, of course, was Deadpool and Wolverine. I think by now, there are still people, believe it or not, who have not seen the movie and have not been spoiled by the cameos. So I'm hesitant to say some of them, but I will say that Ryan Reynolds, as you mentioned, as you included in here, he's giving out the thanks and he's passing out the roses for everybody who participated and made Deadpool and Wolverine what it was, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's created very beautiful social media posts. First one I saw was to Jon Favreau, thanking him not only for his work in the film, but in all of the MCU, from beginning to end, and all the work that he's contributed. And it was just such a glowing praise and thanks and gratitude. And most recently, I saw him, Ryan Reynolds, putting out messages to Chris Evans of a very similar vein, and so much thanks, calling him one of the funniest human beings that he's ever worked with, that his work has made some of the biggest impacts in the MCU and has given him the most laughs, both on screen and off. So it's just really beautiful. You can tell the heart and the passion, the work and the love that really went into making this film. In the years that went into creating the Deadpool series in general, and how Deadpool has slowly been incorporated into the greater MCU, and where we are at this point where they've got access to almost every IP, and the amount of money that they've made. So, I mean, Ryan Reynolds must be just so overwhelmed, and he is expressing that gratitude, and I think it's a beautiful, beautiful thing to see.
Yeah, he has access to every IP. However, he doesn't have access to every person, and that brings us to our next story. Is that of all the people that were asked to do a cameo in Deadpool and Wolverine, there was one actor who said no after reading the script and reading it with Ryan Reynolds. Do you know who that was, Jamie?
No, I don't.
It was none other than Robert Downey Jr.
What?
So, Ryan Reynolds, right?
RDJ.
Ryan Reynolds, RR, reached out to RDJ and went with and talked to him. They said, "Hey, we would love for you to have a cameo, to have an Iron Man cameo in Deadpool and Wolverine." And they actually did sit down together and read a script together, read the idea of what, how he would be incorporated as a cameo in the film. However, after reading it, Robert Downey Jr. said, no, thank you. I'm not interested. This is before it was revealed, of course, and even Ryan Reynolds and the writers for Deadpool and Wolverine didn't even know this at the time, but they didn't know that RDJ was coming back as Doctor Doom in the MCU. And so I think that was why Robert Downey Jr. did not agree to a cameo, because he probably had like some contract with some secret contract or agreement with Disney saying, you're not going to come back as Iron Man, or you can't because we're going to do this reveal literally shortly after the Deadpool movie comes out. So it'd be weird maybe. So, but I think that would have been the cherry on top of a Deadpool and Wolverine movie if Iron Man, Tony Stark came in for like a quick bit or something and then disappeared, or maybe was like sent to the what's the world, like the desert place after getting zapped, or
the Beyond, or I forget the name of it now. Yep.
That would have been wild.
Nowhere. Can you imagine? I feel like the Chris Evans cameo was huge. Everyone was shouting. But can you imagine if Robert Downey Jr. if he had showed up on screen in this in this movie? I think the walls would have fallen down. I think the theaters would have exploded. What?
They should have reached out to Tom Cruise, because it was rumored that Tom Cruise was always potentially, allegedly, in the running to be Tony Stark, to be Iron Man, but, RDJ got the role instead. And so in a different multiverse, Tom Cruise is or could have been Tony Stark, and this would have been the perfect movie to just have that quick laugh. People who know the news and are aware of like the inside business and the reports of Tom Cruise could have been, should have been, would have been. That would have been a funny nod or joke for the people who are really into that kind of that knowledge. So they could have pulled they could have had Iron Man fly in, land, and then Deadpool do his thing like, oh my god, he's back, RDJ, and then the masks come up and it's Tom Cruise. The crowd would have gone wild.
That would have been fun. Well, we did get Henry Cavill. We did get Henry Cavill as the alternate Wolverine. But
that was cool.
They should call you, James. This is why you need to be in Hollywood, okay?
Filled with great ideas.
Every day, and that's why people should watch The Hub on Hollywood. Subscribe. Please help us, because that will really, really, really help The Hub on Hollywood if you subscribed right now. Tell your friends, tell your grandma, tell your kids.
Don't do it!
Because that would really help us out right now, so that we can continue to bring you these amazing ideas, fresh from our brains.
Stop it!
That will transform Hollywood.
Is Nikki trying to sabotage us right now?
I know. We're in a race.
Will cut his mic.
Cut his mic, James. Cut his mic. All right, settle down.
All right. So, so that's great. Let us know who you think, who were you most surprised made a cameo in Deadpool and Wolverine? Who would you have liked to have seen reprise their role? Would you have liked to have seen Robert Downey Jr. don the Iron Man mask and come back in? Or would that be blasphemous? Kind of like Logan's body, Deadpool beating it up and digging it out of a grave. Would it be blasphemous to bring back Tony Stark in any way? Let us know. Comment down below. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe. We are, again, on YouTube. You could always follow, comment down. We're also on the social medias, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, at Hub on Hollywood. Give us a listen, give us a like, and all that jazz.
Yeah.
Now let's get into this popcorn bucket debate, because we've been teasing it basically throughout the entire show. But that Beetlejuice popcorn bucket that you sent me a picture of from Cinemark got me thinking, let's do a year in review kind of a thing, or a year so far review of the popcorn buckets that have come out. One of the most infamous popcorn buckets to date in all of popcorn bucket history, not only of 2024, is of course the Dune Part 2 popcorn bucket got its own SNL skit. People were going wild. They were selling out at all the AMC theaters. I think this one is maybe not the best of the year so far, but it's up there for just its cultural significance. It should be included in the like a Harvard museum of something, or what's that big museum, the National Archives of sort. I think.
Okay.
So,
all right, sure. We'll get on that.
But we'll start going through, I think, the AMC popcorn bucket list, and I'll be biased because I do have an AMC stub membership. So
are you
so
in the
I've seen
A-list?
a lot more of these. I am in the A-list. You got to. Yeah, I go into that VIP line that's much shorter and never full, while all the other, we call them normies. They wait in the actual long line.
Yeah.
I'm kidding, but I do appreciate that short A-list line. Back to the popcorn wars. I think Dune is a big front runner. One popcorn bucket that I really enjoyed, that I was really impressed by, was actually the Ghostbusters Frozen Empire Ghost Trap popcorn bucket. Apparently, this is where the ghosts are sucked in and they get trapped into this rectangular box that opens from the top. Apparently, that actually, if you remove where the bucket where the popcorn sits in, you could remove that, and the actual ghost trapper device that closes, and so it's a quote a functional kind of prop. So I think that comes into a close top one popcorn bucket.
All right. Well, I think
that's pretty good.
I think comedic-wise, I don't know if this ended up being a real thing or it was just a concept, but the Deadpool bucket with the open Wolverine mouth, did that ever...
Oh, that's real.
Yeah,
that's real. That's
okay.
Out there.
All right.
Yeah.
Because just for giggles, I think that was really cool. But I'm really enjoying the look of the Beetlejuice one, with the sandworm from the underworld or whatever wrapped around the whole bucket with its double mouths coming out, trying to steal your popcorn. I think that one was is pretty creative and neat, so I'm looking forward to that. What else was out there?
Yeah, so not only does AMC have a Wolverine popcorn bucket, but Cinemark also has one. But I think the AMC one is better just because you get to reach into Wolverine's mouth, kind of like the sandworm, reach into the mouth and pull the popcorn out. The Cinemark one, it's like the top of Wolverine's helmet is open, so you can reach in through his brain. So that's not as fun as reaching through the mouth.
Yeah.
But so I think AMC has the win on that one. However, the one that AMC loses on apparently is the Ghostbusters Slimer. So again, for Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, they have the Slimer popcorn bucket, and apparently what was advertised is not what people got. And what people got is a horrendous looking Slimer without the arms that were advertised. The mouth is huge, the teeth are wonky, the eyes are red and nasty.
Ew.
The Cinemark one, however, is much better. That one includes arms, and Slimer is actually holding a Cinemark popcorn bucket. And so that popcorn goes into that popcorn bag, and it looks like Slimer's about to eat the whole thing. So I give Cinemark a point for that one. AMC though has a great two great ones. One is the R2D2 popcorn bucket. The back of R2D2 opens up and popcorn spills out. And I think the very top of his head is where you can put soda. So there's a straw sticking out, so you could drink out of R2's head. And a good follow-up to that one is the Barbie popcorn bucket. Is basically a Barbie car, and you just put the popcorn in the convertible car, the open top. So that one's a good one.
All right. I didn't even know there was a Barbie one. I would have totally gone for that.
Yeah.
So what is your guys' favorite? What has been your favorite creative, big, giant popcorn bucket for movies? Is that drawing you into the theaters? And James, here's a question. Should people start collecting these? Are these going to become the new collector's items? Should people really be buying and collecting these? I'm kind of tempted.
I think so. Now, the Garfield popcorn bucket for Cinemark is actually very legit, kind of like Slimer, where you have a actual realistic, not realistic, but cartoon accurate looking Garfield holding a popcorn bag filled with popcorn. So yeah, some of these are like you could keep this at home, put them on a shelf if you want in your movie, man cave, woman cave, if you will, or you can actually use these on a movie night with your family. I think it's fun. So again, I think they're really good marketing tools to get people excited for films, especially if it's a good creative bucket.
Yeah.
But also, I think it's a fun collectible and fun if you have kids. I think all these, except for a few, kids would definitely enjoy.
If you got a few extra bucks to spend, more than you've already spent at the theater.
A lot of extra bucks to spend, I'm sure. All right. Great. Well, yeah, let us know what your favorite popcorn bucket is, or do you think this is a fad that will just disappear like popcorn smell in the wind?
Aww.
Let us know. That sounded kind of beautiful.
It was. I don't know that it meant anything, but it was beautiful.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of beautiful, I haven't watched this show, but I think visually, it's from what I've seen clips of. Visually, it's very, very, very good. And that is Umbrella Academy. Is this the final season of this very popular show?
This is the 4th and final season of the Umbrella Academy on Netflix. I am 4 episodes in of the 6. There's only 6 episodes. Every other season has had 10. So not
Are
giving...
they like an hour and a half?
Yes, they're very long. Okay, so not to give anything away, I'm not going to give away any spoilers here. The original cast is all back. The Hargreaves children are back after endangering and saving the world for, the 3rd or 4th time. They are in a new timeline, and they've gone their separate ways. They're just trying to live their lives. But, of course, it never, ever stays that way. The world is always in danger for one reason or another. That is most likely, more often than not, their own fault. And we're going to be seeing a lot more of Ben, and some new characters in the mix. And it's just all of, if you love Umbrella Academy, it is everything that you love about it. It is all of the fun, all of the chaos, all of the nonsense, all of the gore mixed in with the humor, mixed in with the timelines, and the just totally messed up and hilarious dynamic of all of these characters and this totally dysfunctional family. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. The cinematography is like part of it. It draws you in, but it's like it's part of the story. It's like how the camera is moving, and it's part of the humor. A lot of great songs that are incorporated that are really funny. Everything that you love about Umbrella Academy, it's back and more. I think they've done it justice. And if that's your thing, man, hurry up, go see it. Binge it if you want. I'm not an anti-binger. I'm a go ahead and, live in that fantasy world for 6 straight hours kind of person, 6 or 7 straight hours. So highly recommend the Umbrella Academy. Final season 4, up right now on Netflix. And James, you've been watching something as well.
Yeah, I'm a big Batman fan, big DC fan, as well as Marvel, but big DC fan, big Batman fan. And I'm very happy that this new Batman, this new interpretation, reimagination of the character, the Caped Crusader, is now on Amazon Prime. That is Batman Caped Crusader. So basically, the basic plot: after a family tragedy, affluent philanthropist Bruce Wayne transforms into the Batman, where his crusade for justice spawns unforeseen ramifications. The great thing about this is that this is created by Bruce Timm, who was behind the Batman animated series of the 90s, which I believe is like the best interpretation of Batman ever in live action or animated. Also created by J.J. Abrams and the Batman's Matt Reeves, who is currently making the Batman Part 1 and Part 2 with Robert Pattinson. So I love that he's involved in this as well. But as I said, this is a reimagining of the Batman mythos during the 1940s. So it doesn't specifically say this is taking place in the 1940s, but it has that lore, that look, that noir, investigative kind of style, which I love. Beautiful animation, And I think it's a little more adult themed, as in when it comes to the violence and the deaths. Like, it's not gratuitously gratuitous violence when it comes to blood and gore, but it does not shy away from pretty dramatic deaths. And I still think, kids can enjoy this, but definitely, it definitely does speak to the adult fan out there, including myself. So I'm only 2 episodes into Batman the Caped Crusader, but I think it's really good. The voice actor who is behind this, I had his name down, but he is taking over. He's filling big shoes, filling a big mask, filling in for Kevin Conroy, who is the last voice of Batman, and for many people, the definitive voice of the Caped Crusader. But I think this guy who is doing this voiceover work, he has his own take to it, but it still has that familiar kind of Batman gravitas to it as well. So I do want to give a shout out to the actor. His name is Hamish Linklater.
Mm-hmm. Linklater.
I'm pretty sure I'm not pronouncing that. Is that right?
Linklater. Yep.
Great guy, great voiceover actor. So I think a really good fit for this version of Batman. Again, 2 episodes in, but I'm digging the style, digging the story. They're having some fun. They're taking some creative liberties with some of the villains and even Batman's backstory to an extent. So I do like that. I can imagine some people out there on the internet being, oh, how can you do this to this character? It's fine. There are multiverses out there. Every character is different in every single one. It can be different. It's fine. It's a cartoon. Calm down.
Everything is a multiverse now. Everything is a multiverse.
Everything's a multiverse.
So
if you don't like any of these changes, don't read any comic books because they're all different. Every character has a different background or a different origin or a different take. So yeah, if you don't like this, then you don't like comic books or superhero stories in general, because that's how they are. Mm-hmm. Get used to it.
All
anyway,
right.
I'm getting off my soapbox here, but Batman the Caped Crusader, recommended so far, 2 episodes in, and I'm digging it.
All right. And our guest here has a recommendation of his own. He went to go see Harold and the Purple Crayon in theaters right now. So Nikki's going to have a short review of Harold and the Purple Crayon.
Well, very funny, I might say. But I don't think it captured the spirit of the original book, because the spirit of the original book was like fairy tale and made for kids and very like just imaginary. But this movie's spirit is like comedic parody. It's just like a comedic parody, and even though it's fun, I don't think it captures the spirit of the original book. So you don't, at the end, you don't even have like fun for the entire movie, because like close to the end, you find out that the person he's looking for,
spoiler,
is dead. Yeah.
So there's a big disappointment in it.
Yeah. And then the climax is just insane mayhem and destruction. And then it ends.
So would you recommend this to other kids and their parents to watch?
So it is very fun, but I don't know. Okay, so the beginning was in the spirit of the original, but not like the real world.
End.
Yeah.
Would you go see it again?
Maybe. I don't know.
Okay. Thank you, Nikki, from Nikki Bicky Channel. Now get out of here.
You,
and everybody subscribe to the Hub on Hollywood, because we need to beat Nikki Bicky Channel.
No! Don't do that!
Yes,
Okay.
do that. Yes.
All right.
Don't do that!
All right.
All right.
So thank you for joining us on the Hub
We
on
got
Hollywood.
to. This is a
Definitely
competition. It's on.
subscribe. Yeah, exactly. We've got a new series going on our social medias. Where Was It Made? Where we're going to different towns all around New England to talk about the movies that were filmed there. If you have a recommendation for where we should go next, if you want us to come to your town, go ahead and let us know in the comments below. And James, where else can people find us?
They can find us anywhere you listen to podcasts, so iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you listen, wherever you get them, we are there, as well as, of course, YouTube. Go ahead and like, subscribe, follow, and all that jazz. But great episode, Jamie. I think we're a little running short on time, so we may not be able to do the Cinequote, but we can do it next week.
All right.
But if you're listening, if you're watching, play on our behalf. Think of us when you're winning, when you're guessing Back to the Future, or Apocalypto or something, some other movie.
Okay.
Some other obscure movie. How's that?
Until then.
All right. Until then, I'm James.
I'm Jamie. See ya.
Bye.